we're gonna read someone in Hebrew and we're gonna translate it. We're gonna parse the nouns and verbs and such, and translate it. Why I'm doing this? I'm not doing this because I am a specialist or an expert. I'm doing this because I'm learning Hebrew, and this is gonna help me learn better. So that's why. I think I know what I'm talking about someone, at least to some extent. So at least it's not inaccurate. But if it is, please tell me. Write a comment or email me or message me on Instagram or such if you know more than me, because I want to learn. That's why I'm doing this. So if you're on YouTube, which is the people who are in front of me, you can see that I have someone in front of me. Someone has 6 verses. This is someone in Hebrew. Now, just some notes. This is the Masoretic text, which means it has vowels and it has some markings. Of course, the original inspired text doesn't have any of that because it was written all together, sometimes not even with spaces, but all in one, all the letters stringed together in one large thing. But what happened is, when was that? Maybe 200 before Jesus or after Jesus? Clearly, I don't know about that. They decided, the Masoretes, they decided that they wanted to. The way they knew how it was pronounced is because they passed. It was a tradition passed from through generations. It was not in the text how it was pronounced. It was a tradition. So they decided, well, we should keep this alive. So they came up with a system of vowels and markings that don't affect the original text because the consonants are still there, intact as they were supposed to be. But now you have vowels and you know how to pronounce the text because some words will change meaning depending on the pronunciation. And that's the text that we have today, and that's where the Bible is translated from. Why I'm doing this because I want to learn, because I want to practice, but also because maybe this is helpful. Maybe this will inspire you. Maybe it will make you excited to learn the original language of the Bible. Because if you love the Bible, you want to learn the Bible, you want to read the Bible, and you see that even if you speak 2 languages, 2 modern languages, you know that they are very different. If you read one thing in one language, it's very different than the other language. And this is 2 modern languages that convey the same messages, the same ideas, the same words. Here you have Hebrew, that is a language that is thousands of years, hundreds of years detached from our reality, with words that you can't express today's world in biblical Hebrew. That's how different it is, because their situation was very different. Also, the grammar is different, and the way they string words together is different. Everything is very different. So translating from Hebrew to English, there's always interpretation involved, because you can't really, if you translate completely literally, it doesn't make sense. So you always have to kind of make a little bit more sense for English. And there's some good translations like the ESV, that is a word-for-word translation. That, while of course there's interpretation in it, because again, as I said, it's a different language with different ideas and so on. They try to do it a word-for-word translation and as accurate as possible. And then you have NIV, which is more of a thought-for-thought translation. And then you have paraphrases and so on. But you have other good translations as well. Now, enough of that. Let's start. So chapter 1, verse 1. I'm going to read, and then maybe I'm going to mark as I read. Ashrei Haish Asher Lo Halak Batzat Rasha'in Uvderek Hatayin Lo Gamad Uv Moshav Letzin Lo Yashav. I'm going to start from the beginning. Ashrei. Ashrei is this one here. Ashrei is the construct form of a word that means happy, or to some in some translation. Osher, it means happy. So that means happiness of, or happy blessings of. That's what it means. Blessings of I don't know if I should write down what it means. Let me erase things. Let me erase this stuff here. Yep. There you go. I'm gonna write on the bottom. So here we have blessings of. Ha'ish. Ha'ish is, you have ish means man. Ha is the definite article. So blessings of the man. And then you have sher. A sher is just a conjunction. That means which or who or something like that. So here you have blessings of the man who, or which, probably who is a better translation here. Blessing of the man who, and then lo is no or not. It's a negative there. Halak is the verb to walk, which is a hey, lamed, halak, and you see that in the third person singular masculine, halak. So this really means in kau katau, which is the perfect, which is the past tense. Who, this will be he walks. Oh, change to eraser. This will be he walks, but in the past, right? Or he walked. So blessings of the man who didn't walk. Batzat, so we've done this one. Here we have a preposition. The but here is a preposition, which means in or with sometimes. And here we have Ezah. Ezah is counsel. Now it's written the word without being transformed. Oop, is written like this. I think it's like that. Ezah. Yeah, there you go. Which means counsel. If you put the B in front of it, like we have here, let me get rid of this. If you put the B in front of it, the bait in front of it, it means in the council. Now you know it's a D because the vowel changed to ba. Otherwise it would be just a schwa probably, but it's not. It is ipatak. So it's batzat, in the council. And it's in the construct form. That's why it changed it to batzat instead of getza. So it means, when it's in construct form, it means of. So in the council of. I'm still getting used to this pen. In the council of. Blessings of the man who did not walk in the council of Rasha'in, that is sinners. No, hold on. That's wicked. And it's the plural form. So the original non-plural form is, let me look at my notes, because of course I have notes. The non-plural form is Rasha. That's the non-plural form, Rasha, which means wicked, sinner, or sinful. If you put in, because it's the plural form because of the in, as you can see. Let me actually change to use a different color. So that makes it plural. And then because now you have more syllables, you have to change the vowels, and that's why it looks like that. That's why the vowels shift, and now you have a kametz here and a schwa here. Rasha'in. If you put a noun, or would that be a noun? Probably. In a plural form, you're talking about the sinner, like a group of people. Oh, this is not sinner, but wicked. The wicked, guilty, wicked or guilty, right? So in the counsel of, and then here is wicked. So far, blessings of the man who does not walk or did not walk in the counsel of the wicked. Now it is in the past tense, but because it's talking about a general group of people, it's talking about a continuous action, not necessarily something that already happened. So it's talking generically about all the wicked, or the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. That's why the English translation is in the present tense. So it says, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. That will be the ESV translation says that. And then here we have a woo Derek. So we have interesting things there here. We have first, we have an and, so we have and there, and then we have in again. But you see now this in has a schwa, as I mentioned before, over there. And Derek is way or road or path, just as it is. That's how Derek is. That's both the construct form or the standard form. So, oh, that was terrible. There you go. That's my Derek. And the accent is on the first one, the first syllable. With Derek, so that means and, in, away, because it doesn't have the definite article. However, this is the construct form. The construct form for Derek is the same as the normal form. But we know it is the construct form from context, because after Derek comes hata'in, and that is hata'in, that is sinners. And again, it's in the plural. I don't know if you can see there that we have that plural ending for sinner. So sinners, it becomes sinners because the plural form. And the original would be, I think it's hatta, yeah. With the, there you go. So again, that is sinner, and then you add the plural form, sinners, and it becomes, you're talking about this generic group of people. Hata'in, the wicked, and let me do here, and in a way of sinners. And we know lo here, we've seen it before, it means no or not gamad. Gamad is to sit, I think. No, it's to stand. Now I am. No, it is. No, sorry. It is to stand. Yes, gamad is the verb to stand, and this is again in the gamad in the third masculine singular of the kaukatau, which again is the perfect tense, the past tense. Now you see that here I wrote a patak, but there's, I need to use the little thing here. I wrote a patak, but here there's a kametz. The reason for that is because that's in the, there's a form that changes the vowel, as you can see by that marking there. That elongates the vowel because it's a final form. It's like a posal form. So as you're reading, you're supposed to, it's very poetic, you know, psalms, and the way they memorized it is by remembering the sounds and the whole, like the whole sound that it makes. So it changed the vowel for that reason, but the normal form for amad is this one here. But it means the same thing. So, you know, and in a way of sinners, not amad is to stand. So he, I would say, stood because it's in the past. Remember, that's the gloss of kaukatau is in the past. But of course, we're talking about a general group of people and a generic thing here. So it goes for it's actually talking, when you translate in the present, because you talk about a generic thing. It's not something that happened in the past, but something that will continually happen. And in a way of sinners, he does not stand. And then again, we have our and, w, v, in, and in, moshav, sit. And in a seat, and moshav, that is the form. That's exactly how it is. Except actually, that's the construct form. Again, in the seat of, because in the normal form, the patak at the end becomes a kametz. It is a kametz, and then it transforms into a patak to be the construct form. And in a seat of letzim, which is this word here, again, it's the plural form, as you can see by this ending. Maybe let me erase all this so we can write more things. Why is it not? Come on. I'm using iPad, it's great, but I'm not. It's the first time I do this, so bear with me, everybody. It's actually working surprisingly well. I'm amazed. Better than I expected. And so let's say is the plural form for, I think it's let's. Oh, and that's the ending. Yep. Which means mocker or scorner. So mockers or scorners would be here. Right? Mockers. Lo is not. Yashav. Yashav is to sit or dwell. And again, this is the third masculine singular, kalkatau. And it will usually be Yashav with a kametz and a patak, but because it's the posal form, the patak transforms into a kametz. Yashav. And in a seat of mockers, he didn't, gosh, I erased the thing. Oh no. He stood. It would be the gloss. Blessings of the man who not walked, or he doesn't walk in the counsel of the wicked, and in a way of sinners he did not stood, or he doesn't stand, and in the seat of mockers or scoffers. Oh, sorry, that's not stand. This is dwell or sit. Apologies. This is to sit. He sat or dwell. And in a seat of mockers, he did not sit. Right? Now let's go to verse 2. Ki'im b'thorath Yahweh or Adonai. Oh, that's an interesting point that we can make here. I'm gonna underline as I'm reading. Okay. Ki'im b'thorath Adonai heftzo uvthoratho yehke Yomam Walayla. Now, I read this in two different ways. This is the name of God, Yahweh. We actually don't exactly know the pronunciation, but Yahweh is probably the correct name, or close enough. Now, when Jews read this text, they don't pronounce Yahweh. They say Adonai, because they didn't want to pronounce the name of God in vain, right? It's kind of us in Western culture when we don't want to say, oh my God, and then we say, oh my goodness, and oh my gosh. They're equally bad, okay? In my opinion, it's equally bad. As a Christian, I believe that he revealed his name to Moses because he wanted his name to be known. And I will eventually pronounce Yahweh or Adonai. It depends how I read it. But just so you know, if I pronounce it Adonai, in reality, it means Yahweh. And you can see that the vowels underneath actually are the vowels for Adonai, not for Yahweh, because the text is written, so and as you read it, you read Adonai. So you remember to pronounce that as Adonai. Oop. Gosh. Come on, eraser. Why doesn't this work perfectly? Jeez. All right. So let's start. We have here ki im. Now, ki means for, and in means if. For if. This actually means rather. When you put them together, ki im has the meaning of something like rather. Bethorath, again, in. There's no definite article because it's not Bathorath, but Bethorath. Torah is instruction or law. That is in the construct form. So the non-construct form, excuse me, is like that. Torah. Oh, that needs a dagesh there. Here's in the construct form because it's in a instruction or law. I'm gonna write law here. In a law of. So it's in the construct form. Now, and here we know, in a law of Yahweh. When the construct precedes a definite name, a noun with that has a definite article, or a name or a proper name, the construct also gets the definite article. So even though it's textually written in a law, it becomes in the law of Yahweh. So Bethorath Adonai, Bethorath Yahweh, in the law of the Lord. The Bible, your Bible will translate as the Lord, all caps, to make a distinction between Adonai and the name of God. So rather, in the law of the Lord, Heftzo. Apologies for my pronunciation. Still learning. This is a fun little thing here, because we have Hefetz. Hefetz is pleasure. So this first part here is pleasure, and then you have this O here, this O ending, which means his. So he adds the his to the pleasure. So his pleasure. So here we have rather in the law of the Lord, his pleasure. And then there's an and, which means there's another clause here. As you can see, there's a wu, which is and. There's no verb in this clause, and in Hebrew, when there's no verb in the clause, it's assumed that there's a is somewhere, like a verb to be. So rather in the law, his pleasure is in the law of the Lord. That's the translation for that part. With Toratho, again, you can see the O ending here, and we know what Torah means. Again, it's in the construct form, and we know what v means. B or v. It lost the dagesh. As you can see here, there's a dot in the middle that's called a dagesh. Here it doesn't, because there are rules for when you lose a dagesh and when you don't. And in that case, because it's not the first consonant of the word, of the conjunction, the whole thing, because in the beginning there's an N there, with Torato, you lost it. So it loses it. So it becomes Wuv Torato, not Ub Torato. And that, as we already know, and in his law, because of the U at the end, and in, because of the his, because of the V, law, Yehge is the verb. So here, Yehge is the verb. I think it's Haga. Oh, jeez. Haga, probably. I think that's how it's the Kaukatau, third person, masculine singular. This is not in Calcatao. This is called Yicto. That's why it has that ye in the front. That's called Yicto. Again, third person, masculine singular. And in his law, he will meditate. It's in the, again, Yicto is the perfect imperfect, which is generally in the future. So when you say something Yicto, it's in the future. But because he's talking about a general understanding of in his law, his pleasures in the law, and in his law, he will meditate, or he meditates. It's kind of the same thing. It's a continuous act based on the context. So we translate he, the gloss will be he will meditate, but we generally lose their will. Your mom is, yom is day, your mom is by day or daily. And then here you have a wo again, that becomes a wa. The vowel changes because of when it adds to Lila, it becomes wa Lila. And wa Lila means by night or night. Daily and night. Rather, in the law of Adonai, his pleasure is his pleasure. Rather, his pleasure is in the law of Yahweh. And in his law, he meditates, or he will meditate, by day and by night. Now let's go to verse 3. Uhaya, let me underline as I'm reading. Uhaya kgetz shatul gal pelgei maing asher piriu iten bagito it's hard. Galehu lo ipbo wuko asher yakse yatzliyah. Let's start from the beginning. Uhaya. Haya is the verb to be or to become. Haya. That is a wekatao because it has a. So generally it would be haya. Sure, where do the vowels go? Yeah, like that. Haya. When you add the wekatao, so it's kalkatao, which is the third person masculine singular perfect tense, which is in the past. When you add the wekatao, it becomes future. So, and he will be. That's what it means. Oh, let me erase this stuff. Oh, and he will be, or he will become. In this case, it's more like he will be. Getz is tree. K is like or as. He will be as a tree or like a tree. It's beautiful. My writing is beautiful. Shatul is the verb to plant or to transplant. Where did I write that? Right. This is actually so. This is the original verb. The three letters of the verb is shin, tau, lamed. So it will be shatau. Yep. Which is to he was planted or he was transplanted. This is in the. I think this is the passive participle, shatul, and the participle basically means planting or the past. Actually, the passive participle is like planted. So it's exactly what what we want here. It's exactly what he means when from memory. If you know the verse, and he will be like a tree planted. Gao Ao is on or upon or by. So say on or by or something like that. Palge, Peleg is a stream. Pretty sure. Yep. So Peleg is a stream. This is in the construct form. That's why it looks different. So you still have the first three letters here, but then you have the yod. This is the construct form. So it doesn't mean stream, but a stream of. By a stream of mine is water. So it's, and he will be like a tree planted by a stream. Oh, actually, what if this is in the plural form? Now I don't know. I actually don't know. A stream of water. Let's just say a stream of water, or a, also that could mean a canal or something like that. A share, which we already know. A share is who or which or who. PDU. Here we have fruit, which is peri. Peri is fruit. PDU is his fruit. So here you have fruit, and then you have the u there, which his fruit. Iten comes from natan, which is the verb to give. So generally it will be natan, like that. But it's an yikto. The verb natan, or verbs that have a nun in the beginning, they generally lose the nun, and a dagesh is added to the top there. So iten, and here yikto me is the katao yikto imperfect, which is in the future. You want my Apple Pen? No, it's mine. Thanks. I don't know what you're doing on Instagram. Go to YouTube. You can actually see the whole screen what I'm doing here. Here you can just see me writing randomly on a thing. Yitten, which is he will give. Which or who he will give his fruit. And then here we have but, which is in again or with gitto. And that's his time. The time is I think that's it. Get time or pointing time. That's what that means. That's what this means. Gitto is his time. So in his time. Galehu, and as you can see, maybe you noticed there's a galehu there. That's for his leaves. Or yeah. So for leaves we have ale, that is leaves, alehu, and his leaves, and we have an and as well, and his leaves. Lo, we know lo is no or not. Not. Yipbo. Yipbo is from naval, which is to wither. That's what it is. That's what the verb is. Let me erase some of this. Naval is the kau katao, which is the perfect tense of this verb. Naval. Again, it's a verb that starts with a noon. So the noon drops out, and why did it become Ibo? I don't know why the vowel changed to that. Maybe it's in yep. Again, I think it's in Icto. For some reason, I'm gonna have to look for that. I'm gonna have to search that. But that means he will not wither. Well, it's not because of the not there, right? So it's actually he will wither, but there's a not. And his leaves will not wither. Ko is all. So and all a share which. Yakse, this comes from the verb sa, which means to do or to build, to work, to achieve something. So he will do, because it's in Icto, because of the gosh, what's the technical word for that? The particle in the beginning there. Yakse, in all which he will do, yatzliya. This is the he feel, so it's not the cow stem, but he feel stem. And we know that easily because of the hierarchy there. So yatzliya, it means, again, it's the he feel yikto for tzala, which is to succeed. Yeah, to succeed. And the hifil also means succeed. So the cow means succeed. The hifil also means succeed or allow to succeed. So will succeed, or he will succeed, because it's the third masculine singular conjugation. So from the beginning, and he will be like a tree planted by a streams of water, whose fruit, he will give his fruit in his time, and his leaves will not wither, and all which he will do will succeed. Verse 4. Lo is no, can is thus. No, it's not thus. For. No, it is thus. What am I talking about? And thus, or not thus, or not so. Oh, that's terrible writing, jeez. Not so. Harsha'in. Here we have the definite article. The wicked. The wicked. And then here you have, so the wicked not so. Ki'in, rather. Here's another verbless clause. So the wicked not so. So it does imply that there's an is there. The wicked is not so. Rather, kamots. Ka is like, mots is shaf. and it's the shaf because of the patach. Oh, under the patach there, like the shaf share, which because of this share which tidfenu. This is an interesting one as well, because here you have the verb. I think it's nadaf. Yep. So you have nadaf, which is to drive away, and it's an yikto, second feminine singular, and you know that because of the t there. Instead of a yi, yidfenu, it's tidfenu, and it ends with a nu, which means it's the third masculine singular prefix. So what it's saying is she will tidfenu, she will drive him away. Literally, that's what it means. She will drive him away. Who is the she there? Well, let's keep going. And then we have ruach. Ruach is wind or spirit, and it is a feminine noun. Now, don't be confused, because it's a feminine noun doesn't mean that the Spirit of God is feminine. It's actually marked as masculine every time the Spirit of God is talked about, especially in the New Testament. So they go out of the way to give the Spirit of God a masculine pronoun. But the word ruach is feminine. So the wind, or wind. There's no harwa. Wind. So the she will drive him away is referring to the wind. The wind will drive him away. The wicked are not so. Rather, like the shaft, or he is like the shaft, because again, there's no verb in that clause, so you can assume that there's a verb. Rather, he's like the shaft, which the wind drives him away, or will drive him away. We're almost there. 2 more verses. This is taking longer than I expected. All right. Let's see what we have here. Thou can. So, on or upon, can is thus. This basically means therefore. On thus, therefore. Thou can is put together 3 English, it means therefore. Lo, not. Yakumu. Yakumu is the, I think, yikto, the cow yikto for kum, which is to stand up. Cow yikto yakumu, but it's the 3rd masculine plural. Yakum, or common plural. Yikto has a common plural? No, it's the cow that has a common plural. Yikto has a different one for feminine as well. So, yakumu is they will not stand. Or they will stand, but because of the not is they will stand. But not, they will not stand, right? Rasha'in, wicked, we know that. Wicked. Bamitzpat. Bamitzpat. By mishpat. Yeah, that didn't sound right to me. Mishpat is judgment or justice. In this case, it clearly means judgment. In the judgment. In the... Oh, I didn't read the verse by itself before studying. Oh. There's not a lot of space. Judgment. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment. Uhata'in bakdad tzadikim. And the sinners, and we know that hata'in is sinners, and sinners, or and sinners, there's no the there. Baghdad, that is Geda. Geda is assembly or congregation or meeting. In the meeting or assembly, I'll change it to congregation or something. You know what I mean. It's all the same in a way. Tzadikin is the plural form of tzadik, which is righteous. So that's the righteous people, right? The righteous, because it's talking about a group of people. Al ken lo yakumu rasha'in bamishpat uhata'in bagdath tzadikin. So therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, and sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So the "and" there, in this context, doesn't mean "and" as in "and the sinners will stand in the congregation of the righteous." As you can see, it's missing something there. There's no verb in this. Sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So you get the same verb from the previous clause. So there's no verb here, so you get the verb from here, not stand. And sinners will not stand in the congregation of the righteous. So you can translate it as nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous, which I think is what the ESV does. Last verse. Let's do this. I'm going to read it as I've been doing, except that I forgot the last one. And then we're going to translate this. Ki yodea Adonai derek tzadikin u derek rasha'in toved. So ki is thus, isn't it? 4. Sorry. In this case, yeah, it's 4. 4. Yodea, that is from the verb yada, which is to know. Yada is to know. Yodea, this is a participle, I think. It's a participle form, which means knowing. Yeah, so here, for knowing the Lord Yahweh. Derek is way. And this is in the construct form, as you see from context. Tzadikin, this is the righteous. It's talking about you see it has the plural ending there. Im. Tzadik, tzadikin, the righteous. For Yahweh, knowing the way of the righteous. And again, we added a "the" there because righteous, tzadikin, when you add the plural form, it becomes a group of people. So the righteous. And the construct ends up getting the not the verb, the definite article from whatever noun it is modifying, or of the righteous. It's not really modifying, but it's connected to. So here you have Yahweh knowing, for Yahweh knowing the way of the righteous, or Yahweh knows, or is knowing of the way of the righteous. Wuderek, in the way of, and I know it's the way of because of what comes next, but it's hard to know if it's in the construct form because it doesn't change. So this is the way. Rasha'in, and again here it's the plural form, which means the wicked, or the wicked people. The way of the wicked, toved, and that is the cow third feminine singular yikto of, I think, avad, which means to perish. So that's the it's the feminine by this toved. So it's she will perish. What is she referring to? It's referring to Derek. Derek can be both masculine or feminine. Hebrew doesn't have neutral nouns, so some nouns are usually feminine or masculine. Some of them can be either. In this case, it's referring to way. And the way of the wicked will perish. For Yahweh is knowing of the way of the righteous, and the way of the wicked will perish. Now, in this case, the will here doesn't mean and, but means but. And that can mean and or but or nor. It's just a conjunctive that can mean all these different things. But by context, you can decide what it is. So, would Derek Rasha'in Toved, and but the way of the wicked will perish. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you didn't catch the live stream, I'm gonna save this video and upload later. Hopefully that was helpful. Please send me questions and stuff. And if you want to see a specific text being translated, I'm gonna say bye to Instagram. Bye. And come next time. I'll make sure that I will announce it a little bit earlier.